Hello! It's a me, YongYea. The world's gonna change today, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Pratt as Mario. Let's see, what's the whole cast here? Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. Charlie Day as Luigi. Jack Black as Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I can definitely see that one. Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. Fred. Is that Armisen? Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. And Charles Martinet as... We'll see. He's guest starring in a Mario movie. Chris Pratt is replacing Charles Martinet for the movie. I guess we'll see how he fares when the trailer launches in, not too long from now. The direct's supposed to go live at 1:05. Really weird time, but essentially in like half an hour we'll find out whether this looks and sounds good or whether they woefully miscast the character. I mean, it seemingly got Shigeru Miyamoto's own approval, and he's Mario's father. So hey, if Mario's papa says, this is the right choice, maybe Chris Pratt will end up impressing us with his Mario voice and performance and take. But yeah, how y'all doing? B1 says, Yong, I'm scared. Alex H, Chris is so cool. The Zyro's, Yong, can you voice Mario for us? The Yong dub. I will, just as there is a Snyder cut, I'll release the Yong cut sometime down the line. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys, what are your expectations of this? Do you think... I mean, okay, so right here we have like the poster that they showed, I think yesterday or within the last couple days to announce this Nintendo Direct. So the visuals so far, look pretty all right. I'm actually, there's a lot of detail here, like a lot of wrinkles on Mario's clothes. I'm not used to seeing Mario's clothes so detailed, so that's that. But the aesthetic of things... so far I'm feeling it. Right? Just from this little glimpse, the Toads look Toad-like. They look pretty accurate. Mario's proportions and character design. Nintendo's very strict about, Mario's design when they license Mario out to third-party companies. Nintendo has very specifications as to how, the ratio of beer to nose to head to body to everything, really. Oh, we got some super chats already. Matt H, looks like Top Gun Maverick will be movie of the year unless Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and or Avatar Way of the Water prove me otherwise. Honestly, Top Gun Maverick was a pretty damn good movie. I wasn't expecting that movie to perform that good. You know what I mean? It surpassed $1 billion, and it surpassed some of the Marvel movies even. The movie was huge, and it's kind of one of the biggest blockbusters this year. I was expecting it to perform well, just not that well. Avatar's going to do really good. Black Panther's also going to do really good. Both are very highly anticipated movies. Avatar in particular, I wasn't super thrilled by the first movie per se. I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it either. I was just kind of okay, this is pretty eh. But Way of the Water is trying to just take it to the next level. I'm very curious as to whether the visuals are going to be just so mesmerizing that it's going to be worth seeing it in cinemas, and whether they can, make it just a more compelling story. They have so many Avatar movies planned. It's not just the one sequel. It's multiple sequels. So seemingly going to be a whole saga. Curious how that'll play out. But we'll have the Mario Brothers movie to look forward to as well. Delta GC says, hey, Ong. Love your channel. Been a fan for several years. Also, I am excited for the Mario movie. If it succeeds, maybe we'll get more movies of other Nintendo IPs. And do you play a game called RimWorld? I have heard of RimWorld. My friends have been trying to get me to play it, and mainly it's just the time factor. I don't have enough time these days. But it's one that I hope to check out one day. Haven't played it personally yet, but I know of it. As for the Mario movie, yeah, if it succeeds, oh, no doubt if it succeeds, Nintendo's going to make more movies of other Nintendo IPs. I do agree with that. We'll see how this turns out. I feel like this movie is going to be pretty big. Like, I do think tons of people are going to go watch this. And, this is in live action, thankfully. Last time Mario tried a live action adaptation, we all know how that went. So the fact that it is animated and the fact that it is very true aesthetically to the games, just, more graphically, the fidelity of the graphics obviously is just that much more elevated in this movie. That aside, that the aesthetics look pretty spot on so far, and so that familiarity is gonna, I think, breed a lot of trust, hopefully, among fans once they show this trailer that this movie is gonna be pretty faithful to the source material. While obviously it's gonna, on some level, do its own thing. It is a movie. Mario was originally designed to be a video game character, and so to movify it, they have to, I'm sure they'll have to adjust some things and actually have a plot. Aside from, Princess Peach is going to get kidnapped. Let's not even question that. It's going to be the same plot of Mario has to go rescue the princess, but hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it isn't just like a big, like, eye candy fest type of situation, and there's like a good story behind it too. I hope the story has heart, and it isn't just like, look, Mario in a movie, and he's jumping around, look, he's stomping on Goombas. Look, he's throwing Koopa shells at Koopas. Look, Bowser. I hope it's more than just the best of Mario, and like they actually have a substance behind the story and, whatever this cinematic journey might end up being. The Funny says it was a nice surprise to see you in the Kaito Files. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I do play Yasutaka Shirakawa in Lost Judgment, the Kaito Files DLC. The character that I play is actually the final boss, funny enough, and so you get to fight me at the very end of that DLC. And that's one of the most fun characters I had the pleasure of voicing. The twist reveal about his, I guess without spoiling it, his real nature. I had a lot of. That was a lot of fun to see happen live as I was recording for the character in the studio. Zitfel says, if the movie succeeds, what's next for the Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe? Ooh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if this is all building up to the Smash Brothers Cinematic Universe? That'd be kind of hype. With how Sakurai went all cinematic with the Smash Brothers Brawl single-player campaign, I don't know. I kind of revel at the idea of a Smash Brothers Cinematic Universe type of situation. But that endeavor would be, that'd be a massive endeavor given the sheer quantity of characters who'd have to be involved and licensed, I don't foresee that happening anytime soon, but, that's a fascinating scenario to contemplate. Svenger McSpazzy, he says, he may do good or bad, but as far as the character behind the voice, Chris Pratt is a very stand-up guy that legitimately cares about his fans. I don't know much about Chris Pratt. I know there's like some controversy surrounding the church that he attends or something. I haven't kept up too much, but I don't know. Chris Pratt's been seeing an interesting wave of he was super loved, and then suddenly especially on Twitter, he's been getting a lot of hate. Who's the best Chris stuff's been propping up, and everyone's like, oh, Chris Pratt is the worst Chris. I don't follow that conversation. I really don't give a shit about that stuff. I just mainly I hope I hope he does the character justice if he got cast for it, Biggie Cheese says, during this direct, Chris Pratt will be accepting an early Oscar for Best Acting and a sequel will be announced. We'll see. We'll see. The audience will be the judge of whether we think he deserves an Oscar for it. I don't think Mario's the type of character to ever, garner an actor an Oscar or, any of those major awards. But, look, mainly, hopefully he does the character justice. You never know, right? You never know how people will surprise you with their X-character voice, right? Some people can do a pretty good Mickey, and some people can do a pretty good Mario. I don't know. So maybe Chris Pratt has that Mario voice that he's been keeping hidden for all this time, and he's just going to unleash it, and maybe we'll be impressed enough by it. A game legend says, would you hypothetically be my zaddy waddy? I don't know what that means, so I'm going to abstain from answering that in case it's something a little too naughty, whatever that means. But if it's just, I don't know what a zaddy waddy is. Do I even want to ask? I don't know. But yeah, that was good. That was good AF, says Paper Guide. I'm sure there are better Mario and Mickey voices out there. I'm just imitating based on the media that I've consumed surrounding these characters. But all right, 20 more minutes until the world changes. Jerry the Hero asks, real question, what cringy pop culture reference do you think they'll do in the movie? I'm going to guess one of the Toads will do a Fortnite taunt in the background. That would not shock me, honestly. They gotta appeal to Gen Z, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't care if they have little moments like that in the movie. As long as the overall package is good, you know what I mean? Whatever they want to sprinkle in here and there, Fortnite dances and whatever's, I'm not too, it's not a huge deal for me what they do in those little moments. Red Crow says, I hope this is good. Of course, I'm not expecting something on the levels of Arcane or Edge Runners, but just hope it's good. Yeah, no, I'm not suspecting the Mario movie is going to fill me with the emotions that Edge Runners did. Yeah, I don't suspect that's going to be a thing. But it has to be fun with enough heart and enough substance to justify its existence. And that's good enough for me. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It has to just be like something that's like nice and warming to the senses and to the brain, and it's just got to give us that feel good type of vibe with just enough heart to make us to pull at our heartstrings just a little bit, at least. Keep us invested in the characters on an emotional level in some way. Let's see. Delta GC. Which version of Hogwarts Legacy will you get? What house do you think you'll be in? Which version? Like what for what console? I mean, if it's coming out on PC, right? I'll probably do, if I get a review copy, I'll probably like review it. Let's see. Yeah, it's coming out on everything basically, including PC. I'll probably get it on PC. Usually, if I can get it on PC, that's what I'll go for. What house? I mean, it's probably between Slytherin and Gryffindor. A while back, I took one of those, like, what house do you belong to tests. I think it was on Pottermore, and I happened to get Slytherin. So maybe that's what I'll end up getting in this game. I don't know. I'll be honest, Hogwarts Legacy, I was initially excited for it, but the more footage I see of it, I don't know, it's not grabbing me based on the footage, the gameplay footage that they've shown thus far. It just looks fine, but I don't know. Nothing about it is really getting me pumped for it, so. But we'll see. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll have more to show. When does it come out? See, release date. February 2023. So, all right, they got a couple months left. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Not super keen on it yet. Your buddy Brady says, for a big question I just thought of, do you even think Mario will have an Italian accent in this movie? I can see why people would complain if he had one. Mario has to have that pattern of speech on some level. I cannot imagine them just going with a dude who just kind of speaks like this, but in a higher pitched voice. Like, this just doesn't sound right for Mario, Like, it just, yeah, that'd be... The accent, it is kind of a stereotypical accent or whatever, but it's almost like... I don't know, it's like, is Italy even a thing in the world of Mario? I just see it as like the Mario accent, if you will, at this point, rather than it does come from like a stereotypical Italian accent, but it's almost like evolved into its own thing where it's just the Mario voice, you know what I mean? And part of the Mario voice is having some kind of that accent, that pattern of speech. So I can't imagine them just like taking that out completely, at least. Maybe subduing it for the sake of like the movie form of the character. but not taking it out completely. X, the Keymaker X says, see the news about Steam Deck? No need to make reservations anymore. Oh, shit. No, I didn't see the news about that. Hold on. Steam Deck. What's going on with, what's going on there? Oh, snap. Yeah, Steam Deck can now be purchased without a reservation. That's great news, man. Their production must have really ramped up. Good for them. Triple M, how do you feel about the lack of junk in Mario's trunk? I am upset. I am flabbergasted. They did the same to Snake, my boy, Solid Snake, in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where they flattened out, then buns, and it's sacrilege. All right, buns must be preserved. Just as games must be preserved, game preservation is a big deal. Ass preservation. Why aren't we talking about? I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about companies that makes them fear asses. Let the asses shine and stand out and express themselves. The Eclipsed Lock says, a bit off topic, but may I make one request? Starting off everyone by saying, stay tuned right here on Yeah Yong. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah out. That felt wrong to say, so thank you for that. That was weird. But sure, there you go. There you go. Request fulfilled. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Any super chats? Blah, blah, blah. No, okay. I got through all of the... Oh, wait. There's a Game Legend says, Poochie cosplay when? That's a great question, actually. I should look into that. I hope to commission... I haven't done cosplay before, but I've always kind of wanted to give it a go. And since I do voice a main villain in JoJo, I figured that would be a great start. So I'm gonna commission something, hopefully, in the not-so-distant future. It's definitely in the pipeline. Let's see, did I miss anything else? Oh, we got a new super chat from Itui, or ITUI. Young, I'm scared. We are all holding our breath in anticipation for what the hell this is going to end up sounding and looking like. You're not alone. You're not alone. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to... I feel like it's going to be good enough. It's kind of the... I don't think it's going to blow me away, this trailer. But I do think I'm going to be like, all right, this is, I'm like hopeful. I'm optimistic enough. I feel like it's going to be decently good, but we'll see. I don't feel like... I mean, I don't know. Nintendo's made baffling decisions in the past, but like especially with Shigeru Miyamoto sort of... On some level, I'm sure he's supervising aspects of this. Make sure that all of the designs of the characters and, making sure that the video game characters translate properly to the movie. I'm sure there's some supervision there. So I feel like if they cast Chris Pratt, it must have hopefully been for a good reason. Hopefully, whatever audition he threw out there really, really justified his casting, I hope. We'll see. Wolfson says, I grew up in a predominantly Italian-populated town. Some stereotypes like that for a reason. I lived across from a guy even named Mario, accent thick. Lived across from a guy even named Mario, accent thick. Yeah. Sure, yeah, I mean... I hope people would know not to use the Mario voice to reinforce stereotypes, It is ultimately just like a... what do you call it? A heightened character voice, if you will. But, yeah, I feel like, again, if they toned it down, I wouldn't be surprised because it is a long-form movie where Mario's going to be talking a lot. Mario in the video games, he says like a few phrases here and there, but he doesn't talk all that much. So by toning down, the accent, maybe it'll just make it more bearable or whatever for an entire movie, for an entire 1.5 to 2 hour run. So that might make sense. I don't know. LTD Cloud says, wanted to ask this for a long time. Are you going to buy shelves for your gaming stuff behind you? Oh, this stuff back there? Sure, when I move into a house. This is an apartment situation, so I don't want to, I'm going to be moving out at some point, and I don't want that to be too much trouble. So I'm keeping things kind of, light in terms of redecorating this apartment. I don't want to go too hard on that. Like, once I get a house, I want to, really go all out with a proper studio. But for now, this will do. Just want to keep it simple so that deconstructing and taking everything down when I do move isn't too much of a pain in the ass and doesn't ruin the apartment and doesn't piss off the landlords and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm keeping it simple for now. But one day, yes, I do plan to get proper shelves, proper displays. Blah blah blah. Let's see. SRP Ghost says, though we are waiting on the Mario trailer, I hope this spikes a proper Metroid movie. Thank you. Hell, I wouldn't mind a Metroid movie that's mostly like a silent film. You know what I mean? Where like there's barely any dialogue. Just pull A Quiet Place type of situation, but with Metroid, where it's just about the environment. It's just about the that sense of isolation and that sense of things creeping around you, not knowing what's beyond the door. I think a Metroid movie could be amazing. I genuinely am shocked that we haven't gotten one. But when we do get one, I hope it isn't just some like big action hero type of thing. No, it's got to feel very tense. It's got to feel like that slow build. That sense of isolation, that sense of dread, a la Metroid Dread. That sense of, it's got to be almost like a bit of a horror movie almost, I think. Almost like Aliens-esque, if you will, except the main character is a badass, you know what I mean, and can fight off foes and can hold her own, and then some. Devon the Doppler says, planning on replaying Persona 5 with the re-release coming in a couple of weeks. I'm very much looking forward to it. I do hope to... I've finished the original game, but I never finished Royal. So I am... I kind of want to replay it in the sense of I want to play Royal, since I haven't finished that yet, and there's a bunch of new content there that I am not privy to. So, yeah, it's a matter of finding the time. It's like 130 hours-ish to finish that whole experience. So I got to find the right time slot where I am not too busy to be able to hash that out in one go, because I don't want to just like take a months-long break and then forget about all the story beats and then have to restart. Delta GC, I would like to see a Star Fox movie or maybe even an F-Zero movie. I'd be down for either of those. F-Zero, I don't think is popular enough of an IP for Nintendo to pull the trigger on that, unless they launched they're planning to launch a new F-Zero game, and then that did super well, and then that kind of created a snowball effect where F-Zero suddenly would become a big IP. Then I might see Nintendo going for a movie, but that's probably one of the lowest priorities. Star Fox, I can see it. Lasume01, what aspects of Mario games do you want from this movie? I don't know, I guess. It's just, I'm trying to imagine, like, how do you make a Mario movie? Like, what's the... Mario has always been such a video game associated IP. You know what I mean? The way that it's like... the story is so secondary in Mario that I don't know... But I mean, Mario, he's Jumpman, and there are plenty of cool like action set pieces you could do with Mario. We have seen him in cutscenes before, especially like Super Smash Brothers cutscenes, and you can make him look badass, and you can make fun stuff out of the characters' interactions with enemies and the world and all these things. So, but in terms of what elements from Mario, I mean, I want the aesthetic already. It looks like they're kind of nailing that at least, so that's already a big plus. If anything, I want more from the movie than you'd see from the games. The games, it's all about gameplay. In the movie, I want story to become more substantial. I don't want this to just be like a big animated action movie. I want all of that action there, but just like give me a little something more. That isn't just, oh no, Mario, rescue me, cake, and shit. Oh, if that's the whole movie. Then I don't know. I'm sure it'll still be fun, but again, I hope there's just more substance behind it. But seeing Chris Pratt Mario fight Jack Black Bowser, not gonna lie, that should be kind of fun. Mainly, the thing that I mainly want from the Mario games to be translated into the movie is just pure, unadulterated fun, at least. If The story lacks in substance. At the very least, I hope when I come out of the movie theater, I come out thinking, man, I feel my day feels lighter. I had a lot of fun. I come out with a smile on my face. If they can at least achieve that, then it'll have succeeded. Jorabodify, how much do you think all that stuff behind you is in terms of worth? Also, Metroid anime in the style of 90s anime would be sick. That'd be pretty sick. That's a great question. This is, a couple $1,000s, I want to say. I don't know. I haven't really stopped to count. It's probably a decent chunk of money. At least a couple thousands, I imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I missed a couple super chats. Let's see if I can go back up here. Wolfson says, Metroid movie by James Cameron. I don't know. I'd be fascinated by that prospect. I don't know. Why not? Emma Dilemma, thank you so much for your contribution there. Let's see. Carmichael Snyder. Carmichael Snyder says, Yo, Young, you smoke at all recently? I know on a previous stream you mentioned smoking. So I don't smoke tobacco. I've never done, cigarettes in my life. I occasionally do, vape cannabis before I go to bed to help me sleep, to help regulate my sleep schedule, and occasionally for recreational purposes. And that I mostly did edibles up until, 2 months ago, because edibles are much harder to time. If you don't want to wake up at a certain time, sometimes you might wake up still feeling a little bit of the effect because edibles are much more long-lasting. Whereas with vaping, it's it hits you immediately, and it's a much shorter time of effect. So it allows you to time things better. Now I'm trying to be conservative about that stuff because as a voice actor and as someone who obviously speaks for a living, my lungs are very important, so I'm trying to make sure I'm careful about not overdoing it. But, so I guess in that sense I smoke a little bit, but I'm not a frequent smoker who goes through, packs per day, or vapes a ton. There's usually one huff of something, of a cannabis vape every once a night or every other night, depending on what's going on in my life. But yeah, that's that. Ryan, can Metroid crawl in your movie? What? Can Metroid crawl in your movie? I'm very confused by that question. A game legend, have you reconsidered your position as my daddy zaddy waddy? Daddy zaddy waddy? I left my servant application with the receptionist. Yes, I'm sure the receptionist will get back to me about that. Again, some of these questions very confusing. Emma Dilemma. Sent $1 without a message. Whoops. Anyways, Nintendo was gonna say they did buy an animated studio for themselves. They just might make their own movies someday. Huh. Did they buy an animated? Hold on. Nintendo Animation Studio movies? Is that a thing? Oh, you're right. Nintendo officially launches its Nintendo Pictures Animation Studio. Oh, shit. Well, yeah, in that case. Obviously they're ramping up to making more animated movies out of their IPs. And it feels like the games industry in general is beginning to realize the staying power of a video game when you back it up with a good movie or a good show or whatever. Like Witcher, we saw that happen where The Witcher 3 gained this explosion of players when The Witcher show came out. Cyberpunk 2077 recently gained an explosion of returning players and new players because of Cyberpunk Edgerunners. The Last of Us is doing The Last of Us HBO show shortly after the launch of Last of Us Part 1. It seems like companies are beginning to realize that cross-media can create this vicious cycle of propping up the entire IP across multiple mediums and essentially generate sales and all these things. So generate more revenue. As long as it's done right, as long as it's not shoehorned in there, as long as it's not done just for the sake of cash grab and the game alongside the show or the movie or whatever, as long as both of them are great quality, then yeah, people will feed into that and will absolutely be on board with that. We're going to start in 5 minutes, by the way. Apologies if I can't get to all of the super chats. But yeah, that's I actually didn't know about that, so that's certainly going to open up many possibilities in terms of the kinds of Nintendo IPs we'll see on the big screen. Awkward Cynic TV. Oh, no shit. Blah, blah, blah. Shit, I lost my place. Oh, God, there's been a lot of super chats. Lunar Makeshift. I remember years ago there were rumblings of a Final Fantasy IV TV show in production. Nothing in years. I didn't even hear about this, so yeah. If we haven't heard about it for that long, then maybe it's in development hell. Adam T. Will Cappy be in the movie and voiced by The Rock? Let's find out. This seems more. I don't think this is Mario Odyssey inspired. I don't think we'll see Cappy. But if they one day went the Odyssey route with a sequel, The Rock voicing Cappy would be chef's kiss. Hilarious. Sojo Nation, Donkey Kong movie, Return of the King K. Rool. Let's go. Some interesting ideas thrown around for sure. Hold on, let's see if I can scroll back up. Oh, God, I've lost my place. So many people. Let's see. So many people to get through. Scully, there was a tweet that made the rounds of a possible facial reveal leak from Mario. Have you seen it? Any thoughts if it turns out to be real? I think I've seen it. Yeah, it's like that blurry screenshot of, like, I think a marketing material where, I mean, it looks like Mario. The mustache looks very detailed. Usually it's just like this flat shape, but with the movie version, it looked like you could see the individual strands of hair. So that was a little, kind of not unusual, but a little, like, just different than what you're normally used to seeing. But it still looked pretty much like Mario. So, I guess we'll see a better look. I'd prefer to wait until I see Mario in motion before judging. Monarch of Glass, what do you think of a Zelda anime? Hold on, I want to make sure we're good here. Okay. Zelda anime, I don't think it can make a movie unless it was an anime. We've already seen sort of Link animated in anime form for one of the Smash Brothers reveals, if I recall, right? Do y'all remember which character reveal it was? It was Link fighting against the character who was revealed in this very anime-like art style. And we did see in Link's Awakening, the remake, the opening cutscene for that was pretty much anime, and it looked fantastic. So you know what? A Zelda anime, yeah, no, that could work. Filthy Tree Man says, Metroid show by the amazing people behind the Castlevania show. That's my dream. Aw, man, the folks, the folks over Castlevania, the folks who made that show, they really did it justice, I think. That's why Konami should license their IPs out more. But for those who watch the Castlevania show, my good friend Alejandra Reynoso, she's in Castlevania. She plays Saifa Belnades. We hang out all the time. She's just a fantastic actor, and it's cool to have a friend who's in that show because I'm genuinely a fan of that show and its characters. But yeah, Castlevania, I'm a big fan of that. So them animating a Metroid show, I would be very pleased if such a news were to be announced. But so many possibilities in terms of what you can do with these Nintendo IPs. Lasume01, so what are your thoughts on the recent Gundam games? Are you talking about Gundam Evolution, the basically, Overwatch clone, but with Gundams? I haven't played it yet. A few friends of mine have been. So I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion on that, really. I haven't been inspired to check it out yet, but I may in the not-so-distant future and give you some of my feedback later. Okay. Sneaky Snail says, what we really need is a Bugsnax movie. Honestly, I don't know if Bugsnax is big enough as an IP to warrant a movie. If executives would see that as a profitable venture. But, Bugsnax, in terms of what I've played and seen, I never finished the game, but I've seen and played enough of it where I'd say it could be suited for a movie format. I feel like that makes sense for Bugsnax with how dialogue heavy it is, and they could definitely make a movie out of that if they wanted to. I don't think that's going to be a likely prospect, but it could be something. This is I just want to make sure. Oh, maybe it's 115. Oh no, it's 104. So 105 is I'm gonna refresh, make sure that I'm not missing anything. Got a minute left. Okay. What else did I miss? Oh, God. Yoshu Mikado says, do you think they are testing things out to try voice acting in future games? No, I think they're just trying to leverage the fact that movies can bolster. Oh. What's going on? Oh, God. Wait. Oh, I had a... Okay. I had 2 sessions running at once by accident. Okay, there we go. That fixed it. All right, let's do it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shigeru Miyamoto. As we previously mentioned,
I'm scared.
Today's Nintendo Direct will reveal the first trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Animated movie for the very first time. This Nintendo Direct
this is going to be an experience.
Being broadcast simultaneously at New York Comic Con. Hello, New York Comic Con. It's been nearly 40 years since the original Mario Bros. Game was released in Japan.
Here we go.
Today, lots of people around the world are playing Mario games. Thank you all so much. Finally, the world of Super Mario Bros. Will become an animated movie. We've been working on this movie together with Chris Meledandri from Illumination for a long time. From brainstorming
Chris Methodology. Who's Chris Methodology? This closed captions
flew
needs
by
to
as we
go
were
away.
having fun figuring out how to depict the Super Mario characters and world. Now, I'd like to hear from Chris-san, my good friend and great partner for the movie.
Lots of
bring him
Chris's
in. Chris-san.
involved here.
Thank you, Miyamoto-san.
This is Chris
I am speaking
Meledandri.
on behalf of our directors, Michael Jelinek, Aaron Horvath, and the entire
We wanna hear from
Illumination
Chris
crew of
Pratt.
artists. When I tell you that producing the Super Mario Brothers movie with you and your team at Nintendo has been an absolute privilege. Our crew is filled with Mario fanatics, and they're bringing the very best of their talent to this film every day. Next week, we complete animation. We're knee-deep into lighting and compositing. Composer Brian Tyler heads to the scoring stage in just 11 days. He's been working hand-in-hand with Koji Kondo to integrate classic themes from the game.
Working
into
with
the
Koji
film's
Kondo.
score.
All right. Well, that
Miyamoto-san,
at least the soundtrack's going to be
It's been
good.
over 7 years since we first started talking about making this movie together. And it is thrilling to finally be here to show the very first look at footage with Mario
boy.
fans at Nintendo Direct and at New York
We'll see.
Comic Con. Miyamoto-san, shall we go ahead and introduce some of our cast?
Okay, Chris-san. Now, I'll introduce 2 of the stars from this movie. Both of them love Nintendo games and made this into a really fun movie. Are you ready?
Are they introducing new cast?
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas in the original Mario Brothers arcade game at my
And
local
Goombas?
laundromat. And then, of course,
What about
it came out on
Goombas? You
Nintendo,
gotta
and
stomp
I played
Goombas.
That, maybe years of my life. It's an honor, truly, to be able to speak to the man who created those memories for me. And it's an honor to work alongside him. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to become Mario.
Really?
That dream, like all dreams, faces one critical challenge. As in the film, I must face off against an utterly ruthless scene stealer.
Jack
Every
Black.
great hero needs a diabolical enemy, and I promise you, I could not have been paired with the more perfect king of the Koopas, Bowser, and my friend, the great and hilarious, supremely talented Mr. Jack Black.
Thank you, Chris, but I can't let you have all the fun. Now it's time for us to make this moment all about me.
This is such a Twilight
You've been
Zone moment
dreaming
right
about
now.
playing Mario. I've been preparing. Look at all this Koopa muscle I packed on. And this flowing mane doesn't just appear overnight. Do you have any idea how long
What's
it
his
took me to
Bowser
learn how to
voice?
breathe fire? I had to go learn it from Gene Simmons of Kiss. And all this hard work's been worth it, though. I am so proud to have been able to collaborate with you and Miyamoto-san, as well as the entire Nintendo and Illumination team on this cinematic experience, one that will make its mark on Mario fandom forever.
Forget Jack Black.
Much
This is
love.
famous YouTuber Jablinski. That's who we're looking at here. Jablinski
Thank
plays
you,
Bowser?
Chris-san,
Holy shit.
Jack-san. All right, then. Thank you all for waiting. Let's press the start button.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. All right, good graphics.
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
The graphics look fantastic. The visuals look fantastic so far.
Open the gates!
Okay. That was not the voice I was expecting from penguins. That looked that adorable.
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not.
I was expecting a more like guttural voice for Bowser.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
It sounds a little too... Ooh, that looks a little strange.
What is this place?
What?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Is it just Chris Pratt?
Here we come.
It's just Chris Pratt. Wait. The voice is just Chris Pratt.
I want to thank all of you for being part of this
Wait,
moment
it's just
with us,
Chris.
and we're excited to share even more footage in the coming months.
I'm looking forward to it too.
What is happening?
What do you think will happen during Mario's adventure in the Mushroom Kingdom?
It's just the guy who sounds like
Production
this.
of the
Hi,
movie
I'm
is going
Mario.
well. Currently, like with any Nintendo game, we're working on the finishing touches. I hope you're looking forward to the next trailer. It'll be a great experience watching the
I guess they
Super
really
Mario Brothers
are trying to
movie
lean
in
fully
movie
away from
theaters.
the accent or whatever from the Mario
You'll get
voice.
to see the Mushroom
The
Kingdom
one
on the
super
big
chat was
screen.
right. I
Look
guess they're...
closely, and you'll spot things in all sorts of places. This film can be enjoyed by people of all ages, so I hope you'll get to a movie theater and cheer for Mario. That's all for today. We'll see you next spring in movie theaters.
Okay,
Thank you.
so visually, I think they're nailing it. The voices, though, the Mario voice especially, which is the most important one they had to nail. What is the chat saying? Brooklyn Mario, let's go. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to see what people's general sentiments are. I don't know. I gotta process this. Let's watch that again. Actually, let's see that again. I want to hear that voice again. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it's more suitable for the movie format. Hold on.
Now who's gonna stop me?
Yeah, Bowser, I was expecting to sound a little more, guttural or whatever. I don't know. But it's like it's all right. It's all right. But Mario's like. It just sounds like Chris Pratt.
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
The Toad, I'm like, all right with.
Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to see more of the movie, but it was not what I was expecting. I thought he was gonna like change up his voice a little more. It just sounds like Chris. That's, you know, I'll judge it when, you know, when the movie's out in its entirety and I see the whole movie and see how it all flows together. But that first impression of like, all right, what kind of voice is he gonna do? It's just Chris. It does look good though, like visually, like in terms of what they're doing with the visuals and some of the, like the world looks gorgeous. I think some of these shots look really cool. Mario, oh man, I don't know. I'm conflicted about Mario's design because seeing the mustache so realistic and the eyes so, I don't know. It's an interesting meld of styles. I don't mind it too much. Like Toad looks awesome, I think. Bowser looks fantastic. I think the Mario design is just going to take a little getting used to, but I think it's all right. It's just the voice, man. I'm really thrown off by the fact that Chris Pratt just did his best Chris Pratt. But this looks like it could be a fun movie if you can, you know, get used to the Chris Pratt voiced Mario. I'm overall liking what I'm seeing so far. The takeaway of the overall trailer for me is like, all right, overall positive. Chris Pratt's voice is Mario. It hasn't grown on me yet, personally. Let me know what you guys think. Slug says, it's a me, Mario, in a perfectly normal American English accent. Renegade God Malice. Chris's Mario is just bad. No way around this. Coding Sheep says, small reminder that Toad is Keegan-Michael Key. Yep. And I didn't mind Toad's performance. Or Keegan-Michael Key's performance as Toad. I thought the screamy kind of high-pitched vocal quality I think worked well. Awkward Cynic TV, I wanted to hear Charlie's Luigi voice. We got a brief glimpse of it, right? He was screaming at one point, wasn't he? Let's see. I didn't imagine that, right? We did get a brief glimpse of Luigi? I don't know. But yeah, I'd be very curious to hear what Charlie Day sounds like. I can actually kind of hear Charlie Day's voice making a pretty decent Luigi. There's a bit of a Brooklyn accent at the end, I think, that we hear when Chris says, here we go, or whatever.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Okay, right there I can hear a bit of an accent. I was just expecting him to change up his voice a lot more. I almost prefer that, the vocal quality is almost the thing that stands out more than the accent. If he kind of diminished the accent but changed up his voice to be a little more, that Mario then I would have been a little more okay with it. For now though, I'm I still have to process this. I have to marinate on this and see what I think about this later. Peace Robert Walker says, Mario's voice isn't bad enough to be meme-worthy, but it isn't good enough to be impressive. I think that's where I'm sitting at, actually. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not offended by the voice in the sense of oh, it sounds bad. It just doesn't sound like Mario to me, how I imagine Mario sounds like, because I've grown up with Mario sounding a certain way, and Chris's performance just doesn't even really approach it even. It's not even we're meeting halfway. It just sounds like it's Chris Pratt with a bit of an accent, Alex Lavoie says, I want to see more Luigi. Charlie Day is perfect. I think so too. I think Charlie Day would probably make a really good Luigi. Dennis Reyes says, Mario in Unreal Engine 5, basically. Very detailed beard and hair, ZZZ Hip Hop says, Mario looks like the Chuck E. Cheese drummer. The Max says, I was upset about Chris Pratt's voice too. Bowser and Kamek sound awesome. Luigi also looked awesome. Bowser, I was expecting a little, again, more guttural, but overall, pretty good. Kamek also Kamek actually I think is spot on. Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. There was a shot of Luigi. I swear to God, I thought I saw that. Did I? Oh, there it is. Okay. So those like efforts that he did there sounds pretty Luigi-esque. Obviously not exactly like Charles Martinet, but like the energy of Luigi came across through those efforts. I'm feeling pretty good about Charlie Day as Luigi. I'm feeling like pretty good about Jack Black as Bowser. Keegan-Michael Kay as Toad is like pretty good. Kamek also sounds pretty good. Chris Pratt as Mario is the only thing that I'm like, I don't know, man, but we'll see. He's the main character, you know. If Chris Pratt was playing like an ancillary thing that didn't quite sound like how I was expecting, I'd be fine. But it's like Mario, you know. Flaming Fox, I'll probably watch this and see how it compares to Detective Pikachu and the Sonic movie. Like with the Sonic movie, yes, they picked a different voice actor for Sonic, but it like sounded enough like Sonic and had the Sonic energy behind it, so I was fine with it. Mario, oh man, I don't know. It just, I got a performance. I just didn't like, if I closed my eyes and heard that, Mario would not pop up in my head, is the way I'll put it. Again, I don't want to judge too much until I see the final movie, but first impressions wise, I'm thinking it still looks like a fun movie. The Mario voice is, I don't know. I'm not feeling it so far. Jordan Genesis, is the entire Mario movie going to be an isekai or any elements in the 90s Mario movie? I'm scared. I don't think so, no. This looks like the Mushroom Kingdom just seems like a thing that exists in this universe. This just feels like Mario, right? Not Mario who got pulled from Brooklyn, unless we haven't really seen that aspect of that and they're not revealing that in the trailer. I hope they don't isekai it. I hope they keep it just like, this is our universe. This is Mushroom Kingdom. That's Bowser. And this is a thing that's just a part of our world. Our own little bizarre world and universe. Nightmare397, hey Yong, who would you want to play? Hey Yong, so who would you want to play Samus if they ever make a Metroid movie? Huh. I hadn't thought about that, actually. Yeah, I'm Leia Sado, maybe? Or I don't know. There are probably some pretty good prospects there, but whoever she is, she'd have to be pretty tall. You know, definitely like above 6 feet at least. To really, because Samus is a really tall character, like canonically. So to give her that presence, they'd have to really find someone who can embody the character physically as well. But let's see. So yeah, general sentiments. Yeah, a lot of people like overall seem happy about the movie in terms of what they saw. Mario's voice is the only thing that I'm seeing mixed reactions around. Yeah, which is kind of where I'm at. But some people are like, it sounds perfectly fine to me. I don't know. I'm seeing enough opinions on either end. Julio Cruz says Charlie Day already played as Luigi in an episode of It's Always Sunny. It was a Halloween episode. Oh, I guess I haven't seen that one. I haven't kept up with It's Always Sunny as of late, so I'll have to get back into it. Albatross990 says, I think Charles Martinet's higher-pitched Mario's voice is burned in people's minds. This sounds more like the Lou Albano Mario. Yeah. Which would be fine if this were maybe like live action, but this is like an animated movie, so it's okay to heighten the voice a little bit at least to kind of bring out the more animated personalities of the characters who are in an animated movie. So it's just weird to hear such a, I guess, grounded Mario voice, if you will, in something that already is so heightened in terms of how it compares to reality, right? J0 fella, animation's pretty good. Bowser and Toad sounds pretty good, honestly. Mario's voice does sound off, but I'm sure it will fit over time. I hope so too. I hope it's a thing of like, oh, we have Charles Martinet's Mario voice ingrained in us so much that it's always going to be a little difficult to like move away from that. So hopefully, as we hear Chris Pratt's performance over the course of 1.5 to 2 hours, it'll start growing on us enough where maybe it'll win us over in the end. I hope that's what ends up happening, but right now I can't say that I'm like fully on board with the Chris Pratt voice. But again, I'm still like what they showed here was good enough where I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to checking this out and seeing what my reactions are. It does look like it looks like they're pouring a lot of heart and passion into this in terms of like what we're seeing here, and I mean, there's a lot of personality that comes across, I think, through the animation and the visuals and the soundtracks. I mean, the soundtrack was a bit generic in this trailer, but hopefully in the final movie, with the soundtrack that's being worked on with Koji, hopefully there'll be enough of that like nostalgia factor of like, oh man, I recognize that song, but remixed just enough to fit the movie and what they're going for here. Mumrick says, Toad wasn't raspy enough. I'll be honest with you, I'm with Toad. If they're going to have Toad speak a lot, they have to tone it down a little bit. I can't do the Toad voice, but if speaking that super high-pitched, screamy voice constantly throughout the whole movie, that could be pretty grating. So I feel like they found a good balance with Toad. But, yeah, I don't know. This is kind of where I'm sitting at. Overall, positive reactions for the movie as a whole. Mixed reactions when it comes to Mario's voice. And I think this is a good place to end this stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Very curious to see how this will all turn out. April 7th, so it's October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So it's 6 months until the movie launches. There's plenty more to see, I'm sure. I'm sure they're going to show a more extensive trailer down the line that will highlight Chris's performance more. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I don't know. Mario's voice is not, it's not what I expected because it sounds so normal is how I'll put it. Jordan Genesis, I kid you not, if you rewind towards the penguins attacking, they almost resemble the Prinny from the Disguise series, to me anyway. Man, I haven't played this guy in forever, but yeah, no, I'm going to end it here, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm repeating myself now at this point, but thank you for sharing your thoughts, and thank you for hanging out with me, and I'm sure more opinions will be shared down the line about this movie. I'm very curious to see what the general reaction is from the internet. So with that, I'm going to tune out, and I will see you guys next time. YongYea out. Peace.